AI, you've been working on that for a decade. And so I think you
Yeah.
may have a different perspective on AI than most other organizations. So how does AI fit in
Yeah.
where you are today and then where you're headed into the future?
Absolutely. Happy to talk about that. Yes, certainly AI has been much more in conversation now than it was. And even when I came here 4 years back, rather 3 years back, I was like, okay, we need to be talking more about this. But this was just not part of the conversation. It was just getting warmed up. So it's really no secret that, in as it comes to account-based marketing, our strength is in advertising. So
Hmm.
very valuable to go back to a little bit to our history. A lot of this is based on what I was saying, audience data and the foundation that we have built with the cross-device graph. Now you have data, you have an identity graph, but where does AI come in this? AI comes in because you have over 1 billion user profiles, and then now you have the data and the billion profiles, and it gives you the ability to predict what's going to happen in terms of user behavior. Now, remember, we talked about spiking activity and intent signals which we track. We do more predictions on an everyday basis than the New York Stock Exchange.
Wow.
And that is because of the billions of data points that we are processing, and I should say trillions of data points we are processing, and the billions of profiles that we have. We have two fundamental building blocks in our AI tech. One is called InIQ. It's basically Insights IQ. And
Sure.
what we are basically doing here is we take data that you load into our platform, we map it to the identity graph, we gather firmographic information, technographic information. So that's the InIQ. You're processing billions and trillions of data points, and you're making a prediction in terms of, hey, this is the contact and this is the account that is having activity, high intent activity. And that's what InIQ does. Now, that's in terms of insights. That's not where we stop. We
Yeah.
also have something called BidIQ. Now, this is where it goes into the depth of advertising tech. If you know how advertising works, what advertising tech requires you to do is take the customer's budget and be able to do a great job of delivering the ROI on it. How do you do
Correct.
that? You do that by optimizing where you place the ad. What's the size of the bid? What's the price of the bid? You're doing that on the open web. That's what real-time bidding is. And we have built the algorithm for BidIQ as a homegrown algorithm. It is not third-party tech. It's not somebody else's large language model. It is our own model that we have built, and we are able to make predictions about and do optimizations on ad, budget, pacing, the price at which we bid. So collectively, BidIQ and InIQ are fundamental components of our platform. And this
Yeah.
has been existent for the last dozen years.
I mean, it's
Now,
huge. I mean, we help companies set up, for example, HubSpot, we implement it, we go through, but we're very familiar with the marketing agency world where part of it is to optimize that spend, I think is the right word. And how do you best do it? And everyone has a secret sauce, and some people's secret sauce is better than others. And I do agree that AI was the initial, I mean, that's really kind of where it all began, was optimizing spend ultimately in the end. And it sounds like you guys have developed a secret sauce to help organizations optimize the placement, the time, the spend, the amount, the bid. And there's so many, to your point, variables that go into how do we get the most maximum out of that budget versus me just going to Washington Post, be like, I'll buy 1,000 display ads today, a cost per this amount of impressions. That's brilliant. So where is NextRoll headed in this future? Like, what's the next? Well, no pun intended. Well, I guess pun intended.
I think that that's a great question. So, of course, in the post third party cookie world, you have to continue to invest in your data assets so that your bid IQ and NIQ continue to stay highly performant. That's an area of our emphasis. And we continue to invest in alternative identifying technologies with our partners and enrich our identity graph so that even in the post 3PC world, we are able to do a great job of delivering insights and driving advertising. But that's not where we're stopping. A lot of the recent conversation has been on generative AI. And the world of marketing has gotten more and more complex because you have more channels to advertise on, you have more campaigns, and when you're growing, you're going into hyper personalization, which means there are more and more segments for you to go market in. Now, think about a performance marketer. They have so many insights to gather, and then they have to often optimize their campaigns, whether I should invest here or there. That's where we think chatbots, co-pilots, and agentic technology can really be helpful for a marketer. A performance marketer that can get an easy summarization of which campaigns are most performant and what recommendations they should implement. That's kind of the direction where we are heading, where you really have a partner in your marketing which can help you draw these insights in a more coherent manner and act on the recommendation. So that's kind of the direction we're heading, which is continue to strengthen our data capability in the post 3BC world, stay high performant in terms of our advertising, but also make sure that we're helping marketers really elevate their impact with AI in this really noisy world that we are in.